Hello, Mother. So tell me, in your childhood, what traditions did your family observe when you were growing up?
We observed the holidays, but we did it in our own way. They were very family-centric. We got together with our extended family, my cousins, uncles, aunts, grandparents. We were not very religious, but everything was very family-oriented, so we always had a Seder, though we didn't necessarily have a kosher for Passover house. My family did not keep kosher, but we would observe the holidays. We belonged to a Reform synagogue. I went to a Reform camp, or a camp through the Reform movement.
Okay, that's enough. What was your community like in a Jewish sense?
The community was not a very religious community at all. In fact, I didn't meet anybody who was Orthodox until until much later in my life. There was a Reform synagogue in my community, and there was a conservative one. But there was almost nobody I knew who was Shomer Shabbat, and very few people who kept kosher homes at the time.
Okay, thank you. What type of school did you go to?
I went to public school all the way through. So I went to my local public elementary school, middle school, high school, and then I went to a state university. Though it wasn't until I went to law school that I went to Yeshiva University, which I went to Cardozo, which is part of Yeshiva University.
Okay, thank you. Did you attend any Hebrew schools?
I did very briefly an after-school Hebrew school program, I think when I was in middle school.
Thank you. Did being Jewish ever make you feel different than other people?
You know, the community in which I was raised, there were probably about a third of the people who were Jewish. You know, probably about half of my friends were Jewish. I didn't feel different. It wasn't the type of thing that separated people. People weren't that observant, so you know, if we might have celebrated one holiday, they celebrated another. It just wasn't something that was divisive at all. So I didn't really feel different.
Okay, thank you, Mom. That brings me to my next question. Do you feel proud to be Jewish? When and how?
I do feel very proud to be Jewish. How do I feel proud? I feel very proud when I see my son carrying on traditions that I didn't even know about as a kid. And that makes me proud that he has had the opportunity to learn things that I didn't have the opportunity to learn, and come to them in a very different way, where it's very natural and you know, just part of his general education, and that makes me very proud.
Have you changed in a Jewish sense since you were a child to now you're an adult?
Oh, very much so. As a kid, you know, this Shabbos wasn't anything really in our life. Now Shabbos is something that's very special. You know, we always have a Shabbat dinner. We always light candles, say Kiddush. You know, the holidays have meaning to us. We observe them maybe in our own way, but they definitely have meaning to us, and it is very important. And so yes, there's been a great deal of change for me.
Thank you, Mom.